Welcome, and thank you for tuning into the Leadership Sovereignty Podcast. I'm your host, Ralph Owens, along with Terry Biller. In today's episode, we'll answer questions such as, what is the role of the challenger? How does the challenger compare to the persecutor? What is the gift of clarity? And is there power in asking questions? Enjoy the show. All right, so let's pick it up. Let's continue on with the next role. So again, for the victim, you have the creator. For, let's see, which one is this matchup? I'll go ahead and read the next role. It's called the challenger role.
I like this role.
It says the challenger has many faces. The most common is the one who approaches others to take action. I'm sorry. The most common is the one who provokes others to take action. The challenger may be compassionate or confrontational or both. A challenger calls forth a creator's will to create, often spurring him or her to learn new skills, make difficult decisions, or do whatever is necessary to manifest a dream or a desire.
Ooh.
Powerful role, man. A challenger. Meaning that you're not going to just sit back and let a person run the wrong way. You're going to challenge them to become better, right? You're not going to rescue them. You're going to challenge them to rescue themselves, right? You know, what comes to thought for you, Terry, when you hear that?
Man, when I hear that, I hear a really, really, really good mentor, because a mentor, again, right? Their job is to assess where you are based on where you say you want to be and matter of fact, I was on a call today. Man, I had a challenger on a call. Boy, they was challenging me. Well, you said this. And I'm like, well, I did. But I had to pivot. But because in what that at the end of that call, it provoked action. And It got me on the right path, right? At the end of the day, the challenger is designed to get you on the right path.
That's it.
Right? They're going to ask you some tough questions.
They are.
Some tough questions. And they're going to hear you out. I love the fact that it said it could be, they can be compassionate, but they also can have a little edge too.
Yes.
The confrontation will be like, hey, you know what? You've been saying that too long. And we're still in the same place right now.
Yes. I want to read this part. It says, even this kind of challenger bestows a great gift, although it rarely feels that way. The gift is usually more of clarity, showing you what you want or don't want.
Yes.
That is the beautiful thing about a challenger.
Yes.
They're going to challenge you with the right questions so that you gain clarity on what it is you want and what it is you don't want. What outcome you really want versus what outcome you really don't want. I'm sure we all can identify a challenger in our lives. To Terry's point, a mentor, someone who's not afraid to question you, to question your logic, to challenge your thinking, to make you think through exactly what it is that you say that you really want to gain clarity. I love being a challenger.
Yeah. So I had a conversation the other day with someone, and they were, we were talking about being accountable. And, the person was sharing with me, well, I can keep myself accountable. I'm like, to a certain degree. And so I started asking these questions. Well, you said you wanted to do A. How much time have you spent on A? You said you wanted to achieve B. How much energy have you been spending on promoting B? And what was so beautiful about the conversation, I said, hey, I asked one more question, and I said, so can you, think about don't give me no answer. I walked away, let that person ponder it for a while. And the person came back and was like, you know what? You're right. And so, again, this is where the compassion came in, though. I said, I knew you had it in you all along. to come to that.
That's good. That's
Now
good.
it's on you.
Mm-hmm.
It's on you to now act on what you, right? You
Beautiful.
stop being the victim.
Yes.
What you came to a conclusion of. All I did was ask the questions.
Ooh,
You came to the conclusion. And that's, I'm telling you, man, for those who understand that you have the makeup and the character and the persona to be a challenger, right? A lot of times challengers, we have to be careful not to give the answer.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
You want to go ahead. Go ahead, Ralph. Go ahead.
I would say we talk about this all the time, and I think we even talked about even having a podcast show on this whole topic about the power in asking questions. Right.
Yeah.
So again, this role is an antidote for the persecutor. Right. So instead of persecuting a person, you're actually challenging them to become better. You're helping them, you're enabling them to become better. Right. And in some of the books that we've read, we've learned that people have egos. They think they know everything. And, especially if they feel like they're right on something, if you come at them directly as an approach to say, no, you're wrong in your thinking, that ego is like it's like a guard or a brick wall to their mind, right? That ego is like at the century of their mind. It's the century of their mind. And it's there to block any thought that's unlike its own, right? So if you've ever gotten into an argument with a person who thinks they're right, the more you talk, the more they don't hear you, right? Well, the way you get past the ego, which is the guard of the mind, is by asking a question. That's how powerful asking a question is. It gets past the ego, the guard of the mind, and it plants a thought in a person's conscience that makes them think, that leads them to the right answer.
Right.
And they think that they were the one who came up with the answer.
Right.
Just like in your example, Terry. That's what's so beautiful about it. The power of asking questions is so underrated. Because pointing the finger at a person and telling them what to do is different than asking them a question that leads them to the right thing to do.
Yes.
And
that's good.
I always say, the greatest leader of us all always asks questions.
He did. Who do men say I am?
There it is.
Oh.
There it is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Here, let me. So I love this. The challenger is a kind of teacher, right? Teachers always ask questions, right? Who points towards life's lessons, towards opportunities for growth embedded in the living of life.
Ah, that's beautiful. That is beautiful.
Opportunities.
Yes. Yes, yes.
For growth embedded in the living of life.
Yes. Yeah. We got to go back to that for a second. So Jesus was the greatest of all of us.
Yep.
He had all power. He knew all things, but yet he still asked questions. Why? Why? Because it's the most effective way to get a person to think. He said,
that's good.
Where's your husband? He already knew the answer to the question.
He did. Because he said it, because the one you're talking about is not your husband. He sure did. He knew the answer.
He was the smoothest one out of them all because he understood. And he had every right to come in and demand things. Yeah. But yet he still asked questions, because using questions is a kind way to lead a person's thoughts to a desired outcome.
Yeah. And so, Raph, I love the point you brought out, though. And this is, of course, Jesus was the first Jedi.
Yeah.
But he asked questions he already knew the answer to.
All the time.
But he didn't ask them in a condescending way. Right? Nope. He asked them in a way to provoke thinking.
Yes. Yes.
Let
Yes.
me let you think about your situation.
Yes. 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 And yes. Oh, we can just die. We can go down a hole on this one. We can go down a hole on this one. Thank you for listening to the Leadership Sovereignty Podcast. We hope that you not only enjoyed the content, but gained something to help you on your personal leadership journey. Feel free to reach out to us on X and Instagram under the handles Leadership Sovereignty. Until next time, stay safe, peace, and blessings.